Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I'm in the studio with none other than Steve and Chad Holly. You're looking a little sweaty, Stevie. How we doing, bub?
My gosh, welcome to the hottest podcast on YouTube.
Literally.
And not for you, for me. It was burning up in this house about 2 hours ago. We finally got a little, something we like to call it in Florida, air conditioning back.
Steve's been out of the old AC for about two days now, and it's been struggling. To look a little sweaty, looking a little juicy, looking like he's fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. Man, look, the crazy thing is you can't even take a shower. You can't take a hot shower. It'll take you 4 days to cool down. You're just over here just dying. You don't know what else to do. So you stink, you look bad, you smell bad. And here I am on this podcast with you people tonight. So let's get it done.
Never a doubt. Let's say what's up. We got Mr. Rick James Jr. Sup, dudes? What's up, my man? You guys are cool. I'm from Ocala. Well, we appreciate you stopping by, Rick. You're pretty cool yourself, man. We're in the Jacksonville, St. Augustine area. Gator gang, scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make money.
You know? And we got Connor, IMG Gators, which we're going to get into a little bit later on. And then Waves at work, but y'all know I'm going to support. Yes, sir. Give a little star on that one, little star on that one, little star on that one, a little bit of love. Let's go, baby. Welcome to the chat, guys. If you're brand new, drop a little like, drop a little sub. We go live every Wednesday at 8:35. Drop a little comment. We have some cool news we're going to mention out throughout the show. We're going to do a live call-in. Not sure how this is going to work out. I'm going to be honest. We're completely just winging this here. Someone had a good idea to do a call-in show, and so stay tuned for that. We're going to allow you guys to call in. I'm hoping it works. I set up a little Google Voice thing so you guys can call in. It's set up through all the audio. We're like a real radio show at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Look, we keep trying to tell you guys, this isn't our podcast. This is your podcast. And look, you guys asked for a call-in show. You wanted to be in it. You wanted to be on it. You wanted to have a say. And lo and behold, here we go with this charade.
Here we go. It's going to be fun. So stay tuned. We're going to love to chat with you guys for real. So, well, hopefully it works. The people that I tested on, it worked, but they all also have my number. So I don't know if that played a factor into it. So we'll see. Mama says, hey, what's up? She's not feeling too well. So send her your condolences, make her feel a little bit better. Johnny, scare money don't make money. I mean, maybe not the right word.
Hi, Audra. I hope you feel better, dear. Sending my condolences for an arrangement.
That's true. My bad, Mama. Well, I told her, I was like, if she croaks, I get my my inheritance. So I just call her every now and then, hey, should I come pick a checkup? No? All right.
Don't get the checkup, Mom. Don't get the checkup. Let's just let this happen.
No, am I picking my check? Like, up.
Oh.
Love you, bye.
Can be correct. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Muddy says, ready for Napier at SEC Media Days this week. We're going to get into that a little bit, too. Him and his boy Feinbaum, whatever you want to call the guy, Finerbaum, whatever, it doesn't matter. I call him whatever I'm feeling. I got roasted for that already, so might as well just continue with the streak. They were on the show together today, so we'll see how that worked out and how that all played out. It was a good time. There was a little bit of awkwardness, felt a little cheesy, but Billy's a good dude, kind of kept us cool. So lighting is crispy, Rick. Lighting is very crisp. Thank you for that. We got a jam-packed show. Thank you guys for stopping by this early. Got a lot of people in here already, which is awesome. Love seeing you guys every week. First thing, we're going to do instant replay. Some stuff went down this past weekend that I am unhappy about, and it raises the question, which has been going around for a little bit, is instant replay good or bad for just sports in general? Going to go into that. Rolling out phase 5. Billy Napier has rolled out phase 5. We talked about the first few phases and kind of phased away from the other ones. Bro, the dad zingers are just on point, baby. And so, but this one will seem cool. I kind of getting back into things. Summer ball's getting rolling, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Then we're going to get into a Feinbaum and Billy. Rashada was there in Florida this past weekend, the 5-star quarterback out of Pittsburgh, California. He had some thoughts to say on what he thought how the whole recruiting process went, so we'll talk about that a little bit. IMG Florida. Hey, their curse is no more. We got some heavy hitters that are making some plays that are they got the Gator blood flowing through them. So we're going to go into that. And then we're going to do a little segment where we grade the offense and where we're at thus far. Might be too soon, but what we know, what we've seen, what we have from the past, right? Grading the position. And then I'm going to give like a potential grade. Obviously, we always want to say A, but really kind of give like a real potential of what the offense can be. And then we're going to leave it up to you guys to give us a call. We're going to call in. It's going to be fun. I hope somebody calls. This is going to be awkward. Nobody calls. We're just sitting here like losers, but we'll see how it plays out. Don't be afraid. We don't bite. Give us a call. Well, not yet. In a little bit.
in a minute. When we put the number up. Yep.
Mom says, thank you, Holly. He's waiting on his inheritance.
Straight up. Yep. Let's keep him straight.
So, Muddy, great transition. Thank you, sir. He goes, you talking about instant replay involving Max Strus with the Heat taking away his three-pointer. Hey, Muddy, you couldn't have said it better. You couldn't have said it better yourself. All right. This past week, Game 7 in Miami, Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. Okay. Everybody's picking Boston. All right. Which I don't know why. Miami was the best team, except this past weekend.
One.
Look, they played horribly. Mike Lowry needs to go. Or Kyle Lowry. I call him Mike Lowry. I'm done with that guy. The guy's dead to me. He's just a Pillsbury Doughboy as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Get rid of that guy. Bam's a 6'9", just absolute beast. Played like a 4-foot point guard. Like, I don't know what that guy. What are you doing? You're a big. Play like one. Okay. Had me fired up. Jimmy Buckets was Jimmy Buckets. I mean, Jimmy's just doing Jimmy.
Jimmy Buffett.
It's Jimmy
Is he a
Buckets.
Parrothead?
No. He took an unwarranted shot, some might say, at the end of the game that kind of is up for debate. But we're not going to get into that. There is a 3-point shot by Max Strus around the third quarter mark, around like 7 minutes to go. I don't really know the semantics here. Takes a 3-pointer. We move on. A good 5 to 7 minutes later, nobody challenged it, wasn't on the floor, whatever. You hear over the intercom, the 3-pointer for Max Strus was reviewed, and he stepped out of bounds. So they took it upon themselves to go and review the 3-pointer, which I kind of know they do to see if it's 2 or 3 typically. They reviewed it. They said that he stepped out of bounds, which took away the 3 points. 2 parts here. One, if you watch the replay, it's way too close to call. Like if it was one of those times where like the coach called a replay, and you know if you call the replay, it has to be just defining facts that, right, undisputable that like yes, 100%. This was not that by any stretch of the imagination. It was one of those things where the heel like here's the out of bounds. His heel's like he steps right on his toes and it kind of falls, and then it's like a spring. How you can tell if that hits out of bounds? I don't know. How do you make that call? If we fast forward into the game when Jimmy takes the unwarranted 3-point shot, right? At that point, we're down by 2. You add 3 points. What's the score, Steve?
You said there'd be no math. Look, I'm looking at a 1-point game. If there's a 3-pointer that's waved off and you only
the Heat are up by 1 with 20 seconds left, and Miami has the ball. Now, could the game go out the same way? I don't know, but it just. When you look at it, it looks like the game was decided by a replay that to me seemed a little fishy. I'm pissed.
look, the delay in time makes no sense. Like,
yes.
Okay, so let's just talk about hockey, right? So if there's a foul that's called on the defense, but the offense keeps the puck, the foul's never called. It's only until the puck gets turned over to the defense that they blow the whistle, and that's when the foul takes a hold. Even in soccer, it's the same thing. If there's a slide or there's something to be done from a penalty standpoint, but the offensive team keeps the ball, they don't touch the whistle unless that ball changes hands. It goes back to the defense, and that's considered a stoppage in play, just like with hockey. If the offense keeps the puck, the offense scores. The foul never happened. Everybody just moves on. You don't go 7 minutes into a ball game and then decide that we're just going to go back and take a peek at it, especially if you're saying that neither coach contested it.
None.
If neither coach contested it, what are we doing? We are doing the exact opposite of what instant replay was originally designed to do, which was to interfere with the game. That's not how it was supposed to work.
So I will say this. I had to take my bias out of this. I have seen in the past where a 3-pointer was made and they've come back a few minutes later and said, actually, his foot was on the line. It's a 2-pointer. It wasn't right. It wasn't instant. It was a few minutes later. They looked it over and did it again. And so it raises the question, should we have that? Should that ability be there? I think there's been times where obviously we enjoy it. We like it. It takes away the human aspect and the human error away from the game. So that part I agree with. But again, I don't know. I think there has to be a line. There has to be a boundary on it, I think, which there is.
So let's just hypothetically say it goes a different direction, right? Let's say that in baseball, a player is struck out with bases loaded, right? Let's just say it's a full count, bases loaded.
Baseball doesn't do this. Baseball doesn't do this at all.
I know, but that's the craziness to
okay,
it, right?
You're doing the same thing. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what happens? Look, we go to commercial break. We come back out. The bottom of the half, whatever the case may be, takes the field, and they say, "Hold on, we went back and we looked at that pitch. That pitch was not a strike. It was a ball.
Everybody come back out.
Give the run of the base and bring everybody back out." That is a blatant interruption to the flow of a game. I'm not saying that there's not times where they might have to look at something a few times to get the call right. But if it takes you that long to make the decision, then you leave the call where it is. You can't just stop it and just make the entire course of a game different if it takes you that long to figure it out.
That's a good point, right? It's like the butterfly effect because we made the bucket, right, which then changes the way the transition, how they then go down the court, that particular hand. If it's called out of bounds, the ball would be taken out from the sideline, the defense could have reset, and we may have stopped the next play. I don't know what happened next. I don't remember. But let's say, obviously, we scored. It allows for a fast pace. They go down and score again. That may have not happened if they called it out of bounds when they should have. So that's a good point.
You can make a personnel change. You can make all kinds of different moves right there, right? I mean, there's a lot of different options based on what you're seeing in the coaching aspect of it. Like, this is what I'm dealt with. This is what I'm looking at. These are the decisions I'm making from a coaching standpoint. You're going to come back to me 7 minutes from now after I've already game planned what's the reality of this game and just kind of swipe the legs out from under me. It feels very, what was his name? Mike Dunleavy? Was it Mike? Who was the guy who got caught cheating? The
ref?
NBA ref that got caught cheating.
He comes out and speaks. I can't think of his name right now, but he comes out and speaks about it. He's been done a few interviews about that as well. So I don't look. To me, I think even though I'm frustrated about it, I still enjoy instant replay. Again, there has to be lines to it because at the moment, I'm okay with it being replayed. Now in baseball, just so you know, you can't review balls and strikes. It's just outs and like kind of ground doubles and things like that. But balls and strikes are not reviewed. So things like that to me, where it's a bang bang play, where there really isn't a call in that predicament with the basketball situation, right? Now if they called him out of bounds, sure, but they didn't call him out of bounds. So you can't go back and look at he actually did step out. That's to me is. Yeah, that to me is where the issue lies. Because if somebody runs out of bounds and comes back into play, and because you have to position yourself in bounds before you can grab the ball, if that doesn't happen perfectly, are they going to review that and say, actually, he wasn't an eligible player, so that score doesn't count either? There's so many plays that you can go back and review and wipe away. There has to be a line. Look, to me, it felt very, and I hate saying this, but it felt very rigged that they wanted Boston to be there. I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan. I wanted a good series. I wanted a good game. And honestly, the only good game was 6 was pretty solid. 7 was cool because at least came down to somewhat of the wire. But the other games were just lopsided on both sides. It felt like it was controlled way too much by the refs and by replays and all of that, which was very frustrating to watch. It wasn't even enjoyable to watch, to be honest with you.
Sure.
And that's
Muddy just called
Tim
it out.
Donahue,
It was Tim Donahue. Yeah. I had the right pentameter. I had the right. It was a Mike Donahue.
You were dialed in. Tony Jimma says it says instant replay. I fixed it. Thank you for calling me out, though. I fixed it. So, Steve, what's your take? Should we keep instant replay or we get rid of it?
There just has to be a parameter to it. Like, I mean, if it's beyond 3 points, so in basketball is a very fast pace, right? If it's beyond a 3-minute barrier from when the call was made to review it, then no, the call on the court stands. You had opportunities. There were things there. I think it's just a situation where you've got to say, we don't have the ability to go back beyond a certain point because it just gives the impression that you're altering the game. Sure. And the NBA's already had that problem where they were clearly altering games. They were point shaving. They were doing other things, players and referees. So I just think for the sanity of players and just for the sanctity of the game and just to hold up a little bit of just just pride, and you can't keep going back and just turning the key and putting it in a different gear, hoping that you get a different outcome.
I agree. I think there has to be a better line than what there is now. I think Honestly, I think the other sports kind of have it dialed in for the most part. This was kind of weird with the NBA. I think there's too many gray lines with the NBA, especially with foul calling too. It's just too much. They've got to get better at it. It's just you don't know what's a foul, what's not a foul. Like every time somebody drives the basket, you're like, I don't know if that was supposed to be one or not anymore. Like it just everything's bang bang, and every time somebody drives to the hole, they're just throwing their hands up like I'm already fouled. Like nobody's touched you. You just started moving. Relax. Like it's gotten bad
for a while. If you had a certain name on the back of your jersey, you were going to get
worse. It's gotten a lot worse. Yeah. It's gotten a lot worse. Moving on, we're going to move into Phase 5 here with the Florida Gators. All right, so like I said, Phase 5. That's the wrong one. Phase 5 was rolled out this past, I think today it was, actually. This past week or whatnot. And so, again, there's 8 phases. So this is 5 out of 8. And Billy kind of talked about it a little bit. He says it's the 5th segment of the UF. It's called the regimen phase. So what is it exactly? It's where basically summer strength and conditioning period. It's 8 weeks of brutal, intense workout that mix in weightlifting, speed, and conditional training. They're also going to have to do some film sessions as well. They were off for 35 days. So that was probably when we worked out with Lingard was during that period. They had exit meetings. And
they were not off for 35 days. There's no chance in the world that Lingard is off for 35 days. Zoe did not take a day off.
He didn't take a day off.
Mad at himself for it.
Off in a sense of they weren't really grinding. So they kind of had some time to unwind and unfollow, but now it's time to basically get back into gear. This kind of starts the next chapter, right? That back half. And he talked about, too, where this is where the rookies are coming in, right? They're going to basically find their position where they stand. And this is where the vets take over as leaders, right? Those guys, it's the new guys' turns to step up because the other guys have left, right? This is where, hey, we set tone. This is the tone for the rest of the year. It starts today. It starts now. So where boys become men. It's a 4-week, 28-day workload, 1 week off, another 4 weeks, 28 days. So, yeah, it's gonna be brutal. Every day has meticulously planned out. But because coaches can only be around the players for 8 hours a week, it starts on the fall on the director of the football strength and conditioning, Mark Hawk, and the key team leaders on the squad to follow through on everything set in front of them because they don't have so much time they can actually work with them.
Right.
What else?
Yeah, to your point, yes.
They started May 25th. They started May 25th.
Has this program. I mean, FSU when Bobby was there, it was called mat drills, but it's a slow inclination into getting these kids back from the spring portion of football where you have your spring game, but you also have a lot of regulations on how much time these kids can have with the coaches one-on-one, right? So what starts happening is graduate assistants come in and they can start working with these kids, but it's not until a little bit later that the actual coaches can get in there and have the direct hands-on that they want, because every coaching hour per se is monitored by the NCAA. So this is basically that just first onset of just getting you reacclimated, finding out where you were from a physical standpoint over the spring, where you stick into your diet, where you stick into your workout regimen, all those good things. And these are just those first initial steps to just start getting you back into football mode.
I love it. As Florida State, they're doing anything like that? Do you know?
They do, yeah. They call it. It's not called mat drills anymore. Norvell has a different name for it. It's the same thing, though. I mean, every school is doing the same thing. They can't do it a whole lot different. There's actually been a couple of times here recently where I think Oregon State got in trouble for reintroducing too much too fast. Notre Dame got in trouble a little ways back for bringing coaches in too fast and requiring too many hours in the gym for the players. But I mean, it's a standard protocol, but you can do different things with it. And I think you mentioned in the precast where Billy's got a little bit of a twist on how he's taking kind of the standard reacclimation and making it his own. Sure.
And so on top of that too, they kind of like with what Billy's been trying to do is get these guys to be bought in to the whole program, to all these phases. So they had this, it's called a draft day. And with the first pick in the 2022 regimen draft team, in quotation, show me my opponent, which they have a little picture here of with a jersey with show me my opponent on there. I don't know if that's going to clear up there, but it's Lingard Lorenzo was the first pick, so I was kind of pumped our boy got picked for that. To see, I was trying to figure out exactly what it's all about, but it's kind of, again, it's just getting these guys bought in. So like, hey, I'm ready to do what I got to do to be here. So I think it was kind of paying dividends, saying like, hey, he's been grinding already. He's ready to rock and roll. So look, I'm excited to see that. I love the phases. It's going to be exciting to see. These last few, I think, are going to be more exciting than the first few. The first few were really kind of just getting the feet wet, establishing themselves. Now we're really starting to buckle down and really see what we can expect come game one. Speaking of game one.
Just to go back to it, FSU's version of what Florida's doing right now is called the climb. So,
thank you. I like that. Smutty says, are you guys excited for the Utah game at night? So that I love night games. I'm a huge fan of it. I think the night in the swamp is just absolutely, it's an insane asylum, as one would say. I love it. I'm here for it. Isn't Florida City at night too? I believe it is. It's at 7:30.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Florida State, Utah. There might be another one. LSU sometimes is kind of a banger. It could be at night. Florida, Georgia is never going to be at night. But he says he doesn't like it. I love it. I'm a huge fan of the night games. And simply because, again,
it does put a little pressure on the night, though, right? I mean, it's a big buildup. Like almost sometimes the 12 o'clock games just make it easy, right? You're up, you kind of get the juices flowing a little bit, you get a little breakfast in you. You know, kickoff is early, and depending on whether or not your team wins or loses, unfortunately, for the last couple of years, my team had more L's than W's. But at least you've already taken that L or that W at 3:30, and you can figure out what your day is going to look like from here on out. You don't have that anticipation, that build up. But man, there is nothing like a college football night game when your team is the primetime game and you've been thinking about it all day and you fell asleep the night before thinking about it and you're going through your rosters and you're like, man, I think we got him. But then you got to watch all those other games, right? All the other football is there. And then you're just like, just give me my team. This is what I'm ready for. But it just builds up so well. And then you get that crescendo of, football until it usually doesn't go off until like 10:30 because they get a little bit longer airtime. But my gosh, night games, you're right. It's just got that nip in the air with it too. It's amazing. That's why college football is hands down the best.
So this is a good point. Gator Gang says is like people don't like night games, don't actually go to the games because a new game in the swamp is miserable. It's not. I've been to one against Vandy. It's not fun at all for the fans, and you can feel it. It's depleting.
It's flat. Yeah.
3:30 isn't fun either, to be honest with you. There really isn't any fun time. That's kind of what makes it fun is because everybody's hyped up. The energy is there. That's why I like it. As a fan watching from home, yeah, a new game is fun because like you said, you kind of wake up in the morning, watch College Game Day, you get it in, then you get to have the rest of your day, right? 3:30 kind of the same way. I love 3:30 on CBS. Like it just feels good. It just feels right?
It sounds good. You have the announcers that have been with CBS and the SEC for a long time. And when they have that intro, you're just like, oh, this.
The music comes on. I can't think of it right now, but the music comes on. I'm getting fired up just thinking about it. We're like what 8 weeks out, 9 weeks out, and I'm fired up about it. So it's going to be exciting. A huge some love from Caleb. Super chat $10. Love me some High Top Sports. Well, Caleb, we love some cheddar. We appreciate the support, Bubba. Well. Thank you, Caleb. My man always be just feeding us. Love it, Bubba. Thanks, man. What else we got here? Gator Gang says he thinks Lingard's going to go for 1,000 yards this year. Been waiting for him to get a chance, and this is his year. He breaks out. Look, he's going to have – we're going to go over this a little bit grading the offense, but that's a deep room. They got him ranked as a fourth guy right now, which, again, I know it's early. But I'm hoping I want him to have a breakout season too. Hopefully he grinds and they see that this guy's been hustling and he's big. Because I think he's going to do great things.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing but love for Zoe, and I think he'll have a much bigger role than maybe what the depth chart looks like right now going in. I think he's going to show some people how hard he's worked and how talented he is.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more. Let's move on to Paul Feinbaum with Billy. So they were on a little interview. Did I say it wrong? Is it Feinbaum?
No, Finney, yeah.
Dude,
Finney years.
I'm just going to continue to say it wrong. I don't even care anymore at this point. They interviewed this week, which we kind of had in the past. They've had a little, not necessarily beef, but Paul kind of roasted Billy a little bit on what they can do and how successful they can be. Billy kind of came out and brushed it off his shoulder as Billy does. Billy doesn't play with the drama too much. He's not a Jimbo. He's not He's not a Dan Mullen who's kind of just your charismatic, really like kind of like handsy talker. He's just straight. He's like I would say a more modern.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody called Dan Mullen charismatic.
I mean, he kind of is. Hey, his
Dan
bro.
For a reason.
No, look. Hold on, I'm gonna do it real quick. When he comes to the end, he goes, Sally, that was a crazy first half there. We got to get the boys better going, get going. We're going to go into the locker room here. We're going to talk about it a little bit. And then we're going to get back out here. We're going to get things figured out. All right. Thank you, man. To me, that's charismatic. All right. He's a little fired up. That was pretty good, right?
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
You worked
on that a lot harder than your math going into this. But.
That's what I'm saying. And Muschamp, oh, man, I love me some Muschamp. That guy can bring the butter, bro.
If you're a whiteboard, you better hide the kids, hide the wife, man. That whiteboard will be like torn to shreds if you can't get one zone read right.
I felt like I loved Mullen and Muschamp for that, like their energy they brought. But then it felt like we talked about it. Mullen kind of lacked the anger. It was always just kind of like, hey guys, we're gonna do really good today. We're gonna figure this thing out. We're gonna have some good ball game. Woo-woo. Right? It was just too happy all the time. It's like, this is fake. I need you to be pissed, Dan. And be pissed at the right people. Muschamp was ready to just run through a wall at any given second. I was like, yo, like everyone's holding back. Like, oh shit, coach is fired up. and then Jim was just an absolute square. Like that guy was a cheese ball. He was chewing the shit out of his gum, just like not even caring. I couldn't stand that guy. He was just a fat Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's the weird thing. I forgot about him.
We all tried to.
Mullen, and then you got your boy from Texas who would just rip whiteboards off the wall, tear him to shreds, headbutt things. If you could make a baby out of Muschamp and Mullen and call it the Muss Mullen baby or something like that, like the Muss Mullen Florida love child, that might be your coach of the year. That could be the coach of the century, the Muss Mullen baby,
with a little urban swag, with the little quarter zip swag.
That's it. Yeah, that's what the baby. Okay, the Muss Mullen baby has to be born with the 3/4 pull up with the sweater.
The quarter zip. He's got to have a little murder in him, because if not, then he's not going to win any football games. So with Paul, we got a little sidetrack there. With Paul and Billy, they got in. They're not got into it, but they were talking. Obviously, they wanted to kind of get Billy's opinion on everything. Paul tried to sprinkle in. He goes, "Hey Billy, what's your thoughts on the whole NIL situation?" And Billy's like, "What are you talking about?" And Paul goes, "You know what I'm talking about." And Billy was like, "I don't." And he started laughing. He goes, "Oh," he goes, "Yeah." He was trying to bait him into the whole Nick Saban and Jimbo thing and try to put him on a side on where does he stand with it. Obviously he coached with Saban, so he's going to favor that a little bit. But I don't know if that was if he doesn't agree or disagree. They asked him his thoughts on it. Let me where my notes on this on his thoughts on the NIL. Billy said he liked him basically. So I think NIL is part of the game. It's part of the competition. Right, which obviously we've talked about as well. He seems to be a big fan of it and kind of enjoying it. And look, if we play by the rules, I think it's going to do well. But Paul kept trying to poke the bear and see what he would say. And look, Bill is your typical political coach. Just kind of played the line. He's like, I got nothing against this. He's like, I've got no dog in the fight here. Saban's a great guy. Jimbo's a great guy. Paul seemed to be a little frustrated. I think he wanted to stir it up a little bit. I was like, you got the wrong guy. Bring Lane Kiffin in. He'll rile it up. Right? Bring in Dion. He'll rile it up. Billy is the last guy to rile this thing up. The last guy.
Yeah, look, we talked about it a little bit on the precast. Like Billy understands the coaching room. We talk about the quarterback room for Florida, the running back room for Florida. Billy understands the coaching room. He's got some pretty big egos and some pretty big some other schools that he's going to have to go to battle with. The Nick Saban, who Jimbo called the god of football. You got Jimbo over there who's got just a blank check waiting to write it. Kirby's over here just winning national championships and looking like a perennial powerhouse doing it. What does he want Billy to say? Billy's just gonna be like, didn't hear a thing. I didn't.
I got nothing to say.
Oh no! I didn't hear a thing about that. Wow, that'd be crazy. How long they've been going back and forth at that? About a week and a half.
I didn't even know.
He's doing exactly what he's supposed
he goes,
to do.
I'm in phase 5. Are you talking about the Regimen phase 5? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, this upbeat draft thing where
when you said egos, it got me thinking, right? So obviously Kirby got an ego, Jimbo's got an ego, Saban's got an ego. Lane dabbles in the ego. And I think our past Gator coaches have come in, Mullen with an ego, Muschamp. And it's like, look, they have to. They feel like I'm a Gator coach. I have to be this big, hoorah. But to me, it feels like Billy kind of eats the humble pie. He's very calm, cool, and collected. He doesn't really care to be the big guy in the room, but he's one of those guys that, like, honestly, you aspire to be like, because they're not loud, but they still carry a lot of weight. They don't have to say much, but you still feel them. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what the vibes he gives me.
The school does enough for him in that regard. Florida's had enough history in football to just have the brand recognition of walking in, with the logo on your chest. Billy's just smart enough to not use the logo before he's put a product on the field. And I think maybe Mullen did. And
yes, we talked about that all the time.
From the Dakotas that was a mouth chewer. I can't remember. I can never remember
Jim
that
McElwain.
Yes, he used the logo almost too soon. Like, you haven't earned anything, and you're using the sweater vest as something that is a power move. So he's doing it the right way. And the other thing to keep in mind is that Billy waited for the right job. He had other offers. He wanted the Florida job, and he waited to take it. He waited to get it, and he waited to take it. So I don't think he needs, in his own mind, to inflate how he feels about it.
Sure.
Again, where Muschamp, I think, was a little bit, not Muschamp, but McElwain was a little bit out of his league. He came from Colorado State. He coached well at Colorado State, but I think he was a little bit too unprepared for the job, maybe. And I don't think Billy is. I think Billy's prepared for the job, and he understands, the logo doesn't speak for you. You speak for the logo.
That was well said, Steve.
Thanks.
Let's go to the chats real quick before we move on. We've got a super chat from Ryan Bork, $1. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Oh, my gosh. Keeping it flowing.
Keep it flowing. Ricky with 99 cents. Let's go, baby. A little cheddar.
We're going the wrong way.
We got a gallon of gas. We have a gallon of gas, ladies and gentlemen.
Or a quarter of a tank of Freon.
Yeah.
In case anybody's curious, we are down to 76 degrees here.
Oh, there we go. Moving in the right direction.
We are in a 10-degree swing since the start of this cast.
I love it. Gator Gang says Jim Mack was real neat. Elijah Allen says he was Butch Jones. Fish and Football says night and day Mullen Napier difference. Couldn't agree more. Yes. Another $1 from Ryan. Just dropping them. Man, I miss Muschamp. Always gave the best halftime and post-game speeches. That's why I love Muschamp. It was just
fire.
Just a lot of fire come from that guy. He was always ready.
Even if they were winning, he was like not playing well.
I loved it. It was just you know what you were getting. You knew when you saw what you were getting. It was the truth. That's what I loved. With Dan, I always felt like he's hiding something. Like I don't like it. I don't trust what's going on here. Let me see here. Gator Gang says Muddy Waters UT was mad at us. Geez, I forgot they had a team since they never beat us. You know it's going to be sad when they buy a team and still suck. I guess, yeah, UT is talking smack about buying some teams. We're going to get into UT. We got a transfer portal action from a UT player we're going to get into. Before we dive into that, though,
gosh. And the super chats don't stop tonight, people.
Caleb Bork with $1. Look, we're getting up to $2 now. We're spinning.
One of us is going to make it to the office tomorrow on all this money that we're making from this cast. I don't know what this is doing it.
We appreciate the sport, boys. It allows us to keep doing these and making these better. So we appreciate it. Next thing we got is Jaden Rashada. He visited this past weekend, missed his flight, which we found out during the cast last week, but he did land. He's supposed to make a decision June 18th. It's June 1st. He has 17 days right now. And he's only visited Florida. He has LSU and one more school, which I cannot remember, on the calendar. But that's going to be a lot of moving around in just 17 days. So
it's going to be Texas A&M on the 3rd.
Okay. So, Texas A&M is this weekend, and then followed by LSU. Okay.
Yep.
So, oh, wow, we got a little super chat. It popped up here on the screen. That's new. I didn't see that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, my gosh.
$20 from Caleb. My goodness. It's getting out of hand. So with Ricky says, y'all feel like a stripper yet? Yes, I do. Is this OnlyFans, guys? Welcome to the show. If you guys want to start taking our clothes off, just let us know. All the eyes closed.
I hope you're not here any longer. I hope you feel better, but I hope you've hung up by now.
So he's Texas A&M LSU he has on the calendar. He still's got to go to Cal. I don't know if Cal will be an official visit because he lives out there. Chrissy Bork with $9.99. The price is right. I love it. So with Jaden Rashada going and visiting those schools, I'm more than likely he's going to push back that June 18th date if I had to guess, simply because it's just there's not enough time, I don't feel like. Now, maybe he doesn't feel like he needs to. Maybe he'll go to these schools and be like, look, I don't need to go to these other ones. I like what I saw. He did say he loved what he saw in Florida, so there's a lot of good things going on there, which obviously he's going to say that, so it's hard to really tell if there's any truth behind it. But look, it was good to see that he got out there. We had him a visit. We had him for a few days. Got to talk to him a little bit. He's huge on quarterback development, which as any quarterback is. So we'll see how he does.
But the one thing I will say, I mean, I think this leaves kind of the options for all the schools open, right? He's a California kid, and his top schools, he's got Cal on there, but I don't see where he's had a visit scheduled. He's gone to LSU. He's gone to Ole Miss. He's gone to Texas A&M. It feels like for a kid out west, he's not committed to being out west. If anything, he may be looking to get away from home a little bit to make his own name and so on and so forth. But if you're the schools out this way who he's already shown interest in, you don't have to feel like he's going to have that hometown anchor where sometimes these kids don't want to go too far from home.
Yeah, so they even talked about kind of California, like, hey, what was your reason for choosing California? And he said, honestly, because it's close to home. I like what's going on there. But it's honestly, it's like it's a homer pick, right? It's like I got to show some love to me, in my opinion. So look, Rashada canceled his last visit with Oregon. The last guy that visited Oregon.
I don't think he's committed to the West Coast. I think if anything, he's trying to show that he can go away from home and still make a name for himself and have an opportunity to play that doesn't require him to commit to something like Cal. Cal hasn't been significant since Aaron Rodgers and maybe Marshawn Lynch.
That's very true. He even talked about that too. He did talk about Aaron Rodgers and kind of like the quarterbacks that have come out of California. So we'll see. I think it'll be huge for Florida to land him. I think it'll get that ball rolling with landing a 5-star stud like Jaden as well. Again, the arch train's still out there. You thought we weren't going to get him in there, but we're going to always squeeze in a little arch for you guys because we love it. But we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on Jaden. That's good news of him canceling his visit with Oregon. It's good news for us. I think by him going to Florida, it tells me that, hey, I think I want to stay down here in the Southeast. That's what it tells me, like you just said. I don't think he wants to go home. I think he wants to come over here, which the remaining schools are over here. A&M, Ole Miss, LSU, and Florida. And there's one, and so Oregon and Cal, So it looks like he's got it honed in to the Southeast. So we'll see how we match up with those guys. And honestly, ranking up or how I standing up against those guys, I like Florida's odds. I like Florida's chances, to be honest with you. I really do.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going positive for him. Billy's shown that he can develop quarterbacks. He's got a good quarterback room, but I don't think that you're going to see all those quarterbacks on Florida's roster in a year, 2 years. I think the transfer portal and some other things are going to make that room look a lot different depending on how these next couple of years go. But I mean, it may look crowded, but we've seen that you can go from crowded to desperate for a player at a position for overnight. So look, I think it was a great visit. The fact that he got out here, he spent that much time. You can't go wrong. You can't not want somebody like that on campus.
Absolutely. And Joel in the comments just said that his dad and Napier Jaden's dad and Napier are pretty close. So that's always a positive to have that little inside connection. Before we move on, let's go to the comments really quick. But I do want to mention one thing. We got a few people in here. We're doing a call-in show today, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody mentioned it last week. That was a great idea. We're going to give it a shot, see how it works. So stay tuned. Make sure you hang on tight. We want to hear you guys' thoughts. You guys are always in the comments shooting and going back and forth. We want to hear you when we want to talk to you. We want to let you have your voice. So that will be coming up later on in the show. So if you're here, stay tuned and keep the comments flowing. We love it. Let's dive into the comments. We have $5 from Ryan. Says this is to get Steve to shut off his camera. The opposite of OnlyFans. Look, to me, it's still OnlyFans. We're getting paid to do whatever the fans say. And if it's turn the camera off and get a little dark and dirty, then that's what it causes.
Look, I mean, if I'm going only one fan, then yes, I'll turn the camera off for everybody else. If I'm going only fans, I've got to share myself with the people. But if it's only one fan, then I'm here for you. But that costs money.
There we go. I blocked him. It's Sam Bradford. It's the quickest thing I could find. There it is. Thank you for the $5 super chat. We're here for the people.
I had no idea what happened. I'm like, am I still on that podcast?
Running back Cedric Baxter. Somebody's asking, could do Florida have a chance on them? It looks like he added Alabama to his top 5. Oh, Steve, I can hear me through your thing there.
You did this, not me.
Let's see who is his top 5 right now. It looks like Bama's making a run, is what everybody's saying. Of course. Who else would they land a big running back like themselves? Turn me down a little bit on your side, Stevie.
There you go. I should do it.
Ooh, Fish and Football. $3 from Fish and Football. Miami 0 ACC titles and Florida 37-26 FSU all time. Look, that to me is loving that Fish and Football. Thanks for 305. What a donation.
From South Florida. I look at that. I like that. That's creative. That's well
I
done.
love it. That was good. Thanks for the support, guys. Really appreciate it. Allows us to keep doing these things. So really love all the support. And hey, Fish and Football, make sure you call in, man, a little bit later on. So stay tuned. You're always on here. We want to hear from you. So make sure you call in for that. Moving on to the next big topic. Wait, let me see the comments. Anything else?
See, Sheffield gets me. Only fan. See,
What's
I got
up?
my only fan here.
Only
It's
fan.
official.
What's up, Sheffy? Welcome to the show. Kayla, way to go, Fish and Football. Yes, way to go. Thank you. Let's see here. We've got the next comment here. Next out is IMG Florida. So we had the curse. The curse was broken by old Billy, right? And now we've got some steam. Got Kamari Wilson, who is obviously signed. He's committed. The guy's doing well with the NIL as well. He's got some merch that has come out, some Kamari Wilson merch. But we also have Kanaji Harris from IMG who just signed. He's coming out next year. But now there's some steam for Jordan Hall, 4-star linebacker out of IMG as well. So that's exciting. Look, the juices are flowing. Kanaji Harris, by him signing, he's really pushing these kids to kind of keep the family by going to Florida. I follow him on Instagram and things like that. We kind of had some short talks about possibly having him on here. Haven't heard from him. I think they have some rules they have to follow, so probably why. But he's pushing these guys. And it's good if we can get more of those to kind of sprinkle that juice around. Like, hey, there's some cool stuff going down in Florida. You boys want to come hang out. So I'm loving what we're seeing, man. IMG is a powerhouse of kids. Look, and Jaden Rashada is from IMG as well too. So to say that doesn't have some play, looking good, boys.
Look, IMG's always just been a machine of football powerhouse, and I have to say that I've loved FSU being the recipient of so many kids coming from there. Look, Billy's done a great job. He came in, he's used some inroads and certainly made IMG a lot less reliable for the other schools, the Miamis that can pull them south, the Florida States that were able to pull them north. I think even UCF and USF were able to snag a few kids from there over the last couple of years. But yeah, from what Billy's done in just a short period of time, if you can get the IMG faucet turned on and you can keep it, it's amazing.
It's gonna be a big help.
Chris Winkie ended up being a football coach at IMG, and that helped us tremendously to keep kids coming there to the beautiful school out west that Florida loves to refer to us as. But look, if you can get that pipeline open and you can keep those inroads, it's a good spot to be.
Gator Gang says it's nice to be able to talk about recruiting and have some good things to talk about and not want to jump off a bridge. And I totally agree. I think it's the needle's moving in the right direction. Some other good news, too. Darrell Middleton, he's set to visit this weekend. He's out of Tennessee. He was a 3-star recruit, 6'7", 305. D lineman, I believe. He also has a visit with Jackson State. We know how that can go. He has an offer from Georgia. But if we can add that monster to the D-line, that would be a huge pickup going into this next season, which we're going to get into grading the offensive line or the offensive team, and we'll do defense next week. But these pickups are going to be huge. Chris Smith asked about any 5-star wide receivers. There's been a 4-star, I believe, it changes, right? So there's 5 stars, 4 star. It always kind of flips back and forth depending on what site you're using. But there's been a few 4-star wide receivers for sure that have us in their top 5, top 7 that we've mentioned in the past videos. We've got Arlos Birmingham, who was a 4-star wide receiver. He's coming in this year. He's going to be here this year, so that's going to be good. But nobody right now, to me, that's going to make any big impact except the Ricky Purcell transfer. That's a huge transfer for Florida, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But I think that's going to be the next big thing. But right now, we're building lines, and we're building defenses, and we're building. We got some good plays on running backs and quarterbacks. So we've got all the right pieces moving along. Some big names, some big exciting recruits in all these big spots. So I'm excited for that.
And opening the right pipeline with the right schools, because those can just produce and produce and produce, and that's really where you want to be, is to have maybe those schools down in like the Dade County area. I'm sure Fishing would agree that the 305 will produce a ton of football talent. But in IMG, if you can get that inroad, especially considering how close it is to campus, those kids aren't going far, right? So the ones that do want to stay home, man, they're right up the road, and most of their families can make a drive to see their kids play.
For sure. Fishing Football says I have PTSD from Mullins recruiting. True that. DeAndre Gosh said, go Gators. They give me hell down here in Birmingham, Alabama. Go Gators, man. Sorry you're down there in Alabama getting roasted, my guy. Appreciate you stopping by, though. Somebody dropped by and gave us a dislike. Probably just stopped by and just gave us a little thumb down. So you know what it probably was, Steve? They heard that you were going to take a shirt off, and they got a little nervous. I think that's the only thing I can think of.
Like, why? If they want it on, they want it on. If they want it off, they want it off. I know I got my only fan with Greg, and if nobody else wants to get on this hammer train, this Adonis physique,
we didn't even hit the scare money don't make money button. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get the hate. It's whatever. All right,
Greg's not scared. He's willing to go all out.
Then our next topic before we call in, again, if you're brand new, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe. We go live every Wednesday at 8:35. So tune in. You guys see we like to have a good time. And today we're doing our very first call-in show. Okay, Paul Feinbaum ain't got nothing on us. All right, so we're gonna drop a number here in a little bit so you guys can call in. We'll kind of leave it open, kind of like any open items, and we'll see how it goes. Look, we're a little nervous. We haven't done this before, but sometimes you gotta just push your toe in the water, see what it feels like. A little nipply, a little warm. But before we get into that, let's get into grading the offense. We're gonna break it down by position. Let me see here. There it is. All right, grading the offense. I want to go kind of position by position here. Give a quick little score. What I think where we're at, where it could go, and where it could fall back to. First being, and Steve, you'll give your thoughts on this too. We're gonna do the running back room. We've got Naquan Wright. We've got Montrell Johnson from Louisiana. We've got Marcus Bowman, and then our boy Lingard. Okay, stacked to me, in my opinion. I gave it a C+ to B-. Okay, the reason I gave it this score is simply just due to just longevity, right? There isn't people that have been there for a very long time, so it's still a younger room in a sense. Lingard is old, yes, but playtime is very limited compared to the other ones. Montrell is coming off a great season in Louisiana, but it was at Louisiana. Naquan's coming off an injury. That's where that score kind of comes down a little bit. But there's so much potential upside, right? A ton of upside. I think it could be a massive room and easily an A+ and more. The room, to me, has potential. But I'm kind of being realistic on where we're at right now, what we see, what we know. I give it a C+ to B-. That's my thoughts. Steve, what do you... Again, I know you're an FSU guy, but you've talked enough about this to have a little bit of a thought on this. What are you feeling? You might give a little more of a harsher grade than me.
Well, no. So I mean, like I'm solid with a B. It could be a B+. And okay. The reason I'm giving them at least the B is because I think Montrell Johnson, coming from Louisiana and having that built-in understanding of what Billy wants out of a running back, what his assignments are, just again, all the things that we've talked about when you're bringing in a new offense. Any player with any ounce of understanding of some of the concepts, some of the calls, some of the audible signals, and maybe even being able to help the quarterback say, "Hey, you're missing this. You're not seeing this guy who could be on a blitz." I think that's a huge help. And it's not like this guy's lining up on the outside, at the X receiver, right? He's right there next to the quarterback, and he can always provide a little bit of insight. Obviously, we're huge fans of Zoe here, so we're always going to say that he's going to be, the best guy on the field in that regard. But you're right. I think between Naquan and DeMarcus, even with some injury history in the past, I think you've got a skill set that you could really find an ideal back for each down and distance situation. And again, with Montrell bringing some prior knowledge, I think a B plus is a realistic
Chris
expectation, and it could be higher. It
Chris
could be
Smith
higher. The
agrees
only
with you.
reason I would downplay it just a little, we'll get to it, is we don't know who's blocking for them yet, but we'll get to that.
Well said. Next room we have is the wide receiver room, which to me, it could be the weakest room, but for now, we don't know what we're going to get with. We know we're going to get to it a little bit with Ricky, but outside of that, we've got Justin Shorter, Xavier Henderson, as well as Trent Rittermore. I'm excited about Jaquavion Frazier. I'm big on him. I think he's going to be bigger right now. He's slotted in the second position, but I'm big on Frazier. I think he's going to have a breakout season. I think he's going to do well. He showed a lot of flashes in the spring game, so I think he's going to be great. So to me, it's a C- simply because it hasn't shown to do well. We've heard kind of out of the camps it's been a weak position. That's what that's coming from. So that's where the C- comes from. Again, the potential is huge here. I think a lot of guys, especially with Ricky coming in, it's going to allow for the other guys to now see somebody who played well, right? Who had a great season last year. He's going to have that kind of veteran presence to an extent, although Trent and Xavier are juniors. And Justin Shorter's a senior as well, but just somebody kind of with a little bit more flash, right, than those other names. So to me, it's a C-, probably to a C right now. That's kind of where I'm at. Could fall down again, and this impacts the quarterback score as well for me.
Yeah, those two things definitely tying together, and you're looking at, it's obviously, some new faces. You got a transfer in Justin, but he's got size. And look, I mean, if you're looking to establish somebody who can get out there and maybe go up for that jump ball that you need to help a quarterback out, especially a new quarterback in the league or the new quarterback on the team, plus he's got the size to be able to block well if you're trying to set that edge and give your running backs the ability to get outside. There's not a lot of experience, but there's a lot of talent. And you just never know, especially with that new offense coming in, how they utilize that talent, how quickly they pick up their routes, just their responsibilities as a whole. Like, I really like Justin Shorter. It's about time for that kid to go out and show that his size is going to be transferable from a talent standpoint to the football field. Like, I give him a C. I give him a C until we can at least see maybe after game one on what they look like against Utah. Do they look like a crisp, fast, big bunch? Or do they sometimes feel like they're overrunning plays or missing assignments? Or it's really hard to tell with that many new folks coming in. But I think after game one, we should be able to get a pretty decent idea as to what we're going to see out of them throughout the rest of the year.
Sure. Well said. The next room we'll go to the O-line room because I think that's going to play a factor to those. Actually, yeah, we'll go to O-line first. So with them, I think the starting line, right, the O-line, just the starting guys, solid. We've got senior, junior on that line. So stacked line. What comes into concern is the depth, which has a factor in the score, and O-line depth is going to be huge. We got Osiris Torrance there, who obviously is going to be a big factor. But again, it's the depth that concerns me. So I gave them a C, right, kind of in the middle, only because of the depth, not because of the starting line or what it could be. It's how are those guys on the second and third string, or how are they going to hold up? How are they going to be able to rotate in and keep that front line fresh, right? That line is going to allow for the running back score to go up, as well as the quarterback score, which we'll get into, or grade, which we'll get into in a little bit. But I'm excited about the O-line. I think we've done well. But again, this is, I think, where the Billy phases and all these, what he's doing is going to have an impact on where the O-line score sits.
Yeah, I can see that. And look, one of the things that I typically like to give an O-line, especially in the SEC, is size. And how are they
Big
bigger
boys
than everybody else out there? Are they able to just be a grinder like what we've seen with Georgia and Alabama, LSU, even to that regard in certain cases? And they've got the size. I don't know if we've seen them all like comparatively play together and be able to produce. But I don't believe that that's as big of an issue as do you have the ability to hold up. Now, look, you've got a right tackle that's a little undersized. He's your red shirt junior in Michael Tarkin. He's just a hair over 300 pounds, but your guard is over 330. I want to say that your center is over three. Yeah, he's over three, and then you've got your left guard, who's another 335 guy, and I want to say your left tackle is over 330 as well. Now, look, they don't have to be the flightest of foot. They don't have to be sometimes the strongest, but look, man, if you can be 330 pounds, 315 pounds, you got to be able to move, some of the folks in front of you. And I think at least with the size that they have, and with the way that I've seen Billy's offense kind of run, they seem like they can block the quick stuff and be able to kind of beat you up on the line if you're undersized and can't keep up with them. So it gives them some depth. It gives them some dynamic. Depth is the issue. But look, I'll get with you. I'll go see until we
see more.
Watch cleats hit turf and see what they look like as a cohesive unit.
I'm actually really excited to see how the O-line does, because it's going to translate into success for Lingard, and it's going to translate into success for Anthony Richardson. So it's one of the positions or spots that I'm really actually. It's not the one you're typically excited to see, but we've seen it, like you said, in the past with the Georgias and the Bamas, that they have the big line, right? That's what you hear about, and that's what we hear about more and more. So I'm excited to have a kind of a good big line and hopefully have an impact on that and say, like, look, we don't want to go against those guys because they're just massive.
Yeah,
They just push us
an
over.
offensive line, like some of these guys, especially the Alabamas, Georgias, as of late, have just pumped out NFL offensive linemen. And if you look at them, don't get me wrong, I mean, they're extremely talented and their technique is good, but none of them are really undersized. None of them are smaller guys that are having to keep up, especially with some of these new, Kayvon Thibodeaux and things like that are just so quick and so strong that you've got to be a little bit of both. But they all seem to be just these big guys that if they get their hands on you, they can do whichever they choose, whether it's,
Sure,
push you out of the lane or just, pass block you down to the ground.
I love that. The next we have is the quarterback room. I'm giving this an A. Obviously, we got AR. The depth is okay. We've talked about that a little bit with Jack Miller and Kitna being back there because Del Rio has left. But I give it an A. It could be an A+. Again, the O-line score, how the O-line does is going to impact him, how the wide receivers perform. His score is going to be due to what's going on around him. I think he's going to bring the A to A+ potential. But it's just what's going to be around him and how he does. So that, to me, obviously, everyone's most excited to see him. I think this is probably, I would say, out of any Florida season, I mean, Tebow is exciting, but his second season, but his first season, to me, this is kind of really AR's first season. So I guess you can kind of compare this to Tebow's first season when he played that kind of role with Chris Leak. The hype for Tebow was still bigger than this because we still got to see him. But I feel like we saw more of Tebow than we did of AR, is my point here. And I think that, the hype behind him and the excitement is just through the roof. It's insane. It's really cool to kind of be back on the map in that sense of having a top 5 talent that everyone's talking about on Florida again.
Yeah, just every time they snap the ball, the quarterback has the ball in his hands, and you're thinking, what's he going to do next? You're just glued to the TV for that alone. And it may be a completely perfectly run play that has 3 handoffs and just some guy wide open running down, or it could be a blown, busted coverage that he's got to make the entire play with his feet. To give you my grade for Florida's quarterback room right now, I would say it's a little bit lower than yours. I'd say B+ at best, because Anthony Richardson has all the talent in the world, and I think talent-wise he's an A, potentially higher. But he does come with some injury concerns, and in the situation where he is still trying to process the offense and can't make the reads or can't get into the audibles that he needs to beat a blitz that he doesn't see coming, he's going to instantly rely on his feet. And we've seen that. That's just kind of been, again, he's that athletic. So if after 4 games or 5 games, especially considering that we've gone through your first 4 or 5 game schedule, is he able to continue to play that style of football and make it through the entire season. That would be my only concern, because he did get beat up a little bit last year.
Sure.
I think he had a shoulder against Alabama. I think he had an ankle against somebody else. And then you're looking at, Jack Miller, who's a transfer coming in to try to win you a game. I don't know how confident as a Florida fan that would make me. I love the kid who's walking out there to take the first snap. I'm terrified every time he takes off running and there's a dog pile. So because of that, and you just want to make sure that he can be there for the entire season, I would just be tentative with my grade. So I'll say B plus at tops.
Okay. Next one, last one. Let's keep it tight. We got tight end. We've got Zipper, your boy, Keon Zipper, and then Dante Sanders is kind of backing up, both seniors. And then we've got a freshman and a sophomore, 3 and 4 spot, Nick and Odom. To me, again, this is kind of one of those ones that we haven't seen much, but he's kind of big. I think he's going to do well blocking. With having AR at his disposal, I think it makes him kind of more, gives him a pretty good score. I'm going to give him a B in the tight end room for now. That one to me, I think I might be overshooting a little bit, but to me, it's the least known room out of all the rooms, in my opinion. I could be wrong here, but that's my thought. Mo Jr., go Gators. Yes, sir.
Look, I'm going to give him a B plus. I like Keon. Keon's been there for 4 years. He's freakishly athletic with his size. I don't know if he's going to be your next Kyle Pitts, but he could be your next Ben Troop, maybe something in the middle. And I want the kid to succeed. He's been a really good team player, moving positions and going back and forth from wherever they needed him since he's been there. So I'll give him that. I'll give you guys a solid grade there, and hope that position can translate well.
Appreciate that. We appreciate that score. Appreciate the grades, Steve, for being very honest and nice about those.
That's
Fishing football.
That's what we do here.
Fishing football. Agree with you.
Every game, and I'll still be correct in that, but I can be objective in my.
Fishing football. He said he agreed with you about AR running. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the favorite part of the show. Hopefully, we don't even know yet. We're gonna see how this works out. Where you guys call us. Now, I don't know if everyone starts calling in, if it's gonna break. I have no clue what's gonna happen here. Let's just. I just really hope it works. Like I said, it's worked today. You guys give us a call. We're going to do a live show. We're calling in. This is the first time we're doing this. Somebody please call so we don't look like a bunch of losers here. That would be really appreciative. You guys have plenty to say in the comments. We want to hear it from you. The phone is ready. I'm ready for a phone call. It should hopefully go through. When you call in, you'll say your name, and then I'll patch you in if it all goes well. If you call and it doesn't work, just say, hey, it doesn't work, and we can figure it out. I can shoot you a text. You can. Well, I thought I was getting something. We'll see. We'll kind of just wait a minute here and just kind of talk it out. Let's got plenty of people in the room.
Subscriber you are trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Yeah, I really hope this works. If not, we'll scratch it and we'll try again. But don't be shy. Call in. We don't bite. You don't have to give us a whole 2 cents. Just call in. Tell us what you guys are excited about. What's your biggest thing that you want to see this year? Who's the player that you're looking to see kind of break out? That's what we want to know. Maybe ask hey, what's your thoughts on the night games? What game are you most excited about? Anything. Give us a call. Let's talk about it. We're getting a call. We're getting a call. Hello? Oh, wait. I got to bring him in here. Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Hello?
Tyler, you there? Waters.
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We got Ronnie. Hello? Hey, Ronnie's calling us too. Ronnie, call us back here in just a minute. We got Tyler on the line. This is what I was worried about. We'll call me right back. Tyler, what's up? Is this Muddy Waters?
This is Muddy Waters, man. What's up?
What's going on, man? Welcome. Thanks for calling the show, Bubba. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing fantastic, man.
You and your wife getting ready for the baby?
We are getting ready, man. We've got an appointment in 2 weeks. I think it's gonna be like a 3D photo, so it's gonna be pretty intense. So we're excited about that. We got a hand me down from one of my aunts. We got a little crib coming, so I'm pumped about that. I don't have to buy a crib, so that's exciting.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, congrats to y'all again.
Appreciate it, man. So what are you excited about this year, man? What's your biggest thing that you're pumped for?
Man, I want to see how Napier does on the sidelines, man. Like, how's he going to do during, like, halftime situations? Like, is he going to do what Mullen did, like, last year against Kentucky when he had, like, a minute left to score? And he said, you know what, I'm just going to do going to halftime. I want to see what decisions, like, what he's really going to do on the field.
That's a good point. That's something that we haven't really kind of touched on is what's going to be kind of his game time decisions, right? The discipline on how he handles timeouts, on how he handles just, again, discipline on the O-line with penalties. That's a solid point. I'm excited to see that too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to see, is he going to be the guy where on 4th and 1, he's going to punt him? Or is he just going to be, Mr. Gamble?
What do you want? What do you want to see?
I want to see him gambling, man. Like, keep it safe when you're inside your own, like, 30, 40 punt. Like, when you're past the 50, your mindset is to be trying to score every single time. So I want him to go for it.
I agree. I think Holly, you might be able to know this, or Tyler, you might know this. There's a coach that kind of came out and which is increased the going for it on 4th downs of like, look, the odds of getting it at 4th down are much greater in scoring or the return on it. It's like a money ball kind of aspect. And that's why we've seen the uptick and coaches going for it on 4th down, especially on the 50-yard line, right? And to me, it buys in on your defense. So I love that. I think that's going to be exciting to see. Those are good points. I'm excited to see all those things. And again, how Billy's going to be handling the interviews. You know what I mean? I love to see the excitement. Yeah. I think we kind of got an idea how monotone they're going to be, but that's kind of Billy. So if he's winning football games, he can do whatever he wants.
I want to say it was Sean that came out with that. That had the ratio of success within certain downs and distances versus trying to give the ball back and have your defense come out. If I could be wrong, I'm going to take a look at it. But if I had to guess off the top of my head, because he's such an offensive numbers guy, I think it was McVay that came out.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, man, I want to see them put Big Dez, put him at fullback, and let him get the 4th and 1. I
love it. That's a good takeaway. Hey, well, so Tyler, Muddy, whatever you want us to call you, man, we appreciate you calling by, man, or calling in, and always being here every week, man. We really do appreciate it. So thanks, bud, for calling in.
Appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
You have a good night, Bubba. We'll see you next week, hopefully.
Take care.
All right, man.
You too.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
Real fast, Billy's record in bowl games was against major schools was 2-1, 66.7%, which is impressive, all things considered. So it doesn't look like he's what you would call a conservative coach, especially against some of the bigger teams that he knows he's got to go out there and make those big plays, make those tough decisions. He's going to do it.
Do you know why I think that is, Steve?
Tell me.
Scared money don't make money,
Oh, my.
Hey, give us a call, Ronnie. Call us back, Bubba. You tried to call me while I was on the phone with Muddy there. So give us a call back. We would love to have you. We're wide open. The phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen, so give us a call. We're going to have to get like a little phone system here. I can get people on hold. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. Give us a call. Let's keep the flowing. Want to hear about your guys' thoughts. Fishing football, give us a call, man. Mo Jr.
Yeah, there you go. Kiffin definitely has a gunslinger attitude with the down and distance.
The Harbaugh, the Harbaugh brothers.
Yep. Yeah, because don't eat chicken. It's a scared bird. That's Harbaugh philosophy.
Yeah,
there.
that's right. That's right. What a philosophy. I love that too. I love that. That's a solid one. Look, I like it. I like the aggressive play. I like that. That was a good point. I'm excited to see how he handles those situations. Just moving on the field, 2-minute drills, right? Where's his space?
Unknown caller.
It says Russia. I'm not joking.
Call from station.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, who is this? It says you're calling from Russia. Is that true? Hey, you there?
It's our OnlyFans agent.
Yep.
Hey, man, what's your name, Bubba?
Fishing.
Oh, fishing. What's up, big man? How you doing, Bubba?
Doing good, man.
Doing good, man. What you excited for this season, man? What are you looking forward to with Billy, AR? What are your big plans? What are your big thoughts?
I'm ready to see this A+ running back room go off, and I'm ready to see Anthony Richardson. And
Okay. Who out of the running back room are you most excited to see? Got some studs back there.
honestly, probably Montreal and Zoe.
Montreal and Zoe?
Yeah, Montreal and Zoe.
Okay. Solid pick. Look, those two I'm excited for. Obviously, Zoe, some personal feelings on that one too. But Montreal too, just because he came from Billy. So it's going to be exciting to see him work out. What's going to be your favorite game? What game do you have circled on the calendar? Like, I cannot wait for this game this year. Which one is it?
It's a little bit hard to hear you. I'm gonna say LSU at home, and then go all the way at Texas A&M.
Did you say Texas?
Especially late in the year when we start to figure things out.
LSU is always a fun one. I love watching LSU or at Florida. It's always a fun one. Tennessee's the same way to me. I think Tennessee Stadium is great. It's fun watching those games. So that's a good one. I agree. Right now, mine to me is Utah. It's the first game of the season. It's night game.
Night game.
It gets it started.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. Sorry you can't hear me too well, man. I'll try to keep talking a little bit louder. But Fish and Football, man, we appreciate you. Appreciate you stopping by every week, man. Appreciate the 305 donation as well. That means a lot. We really do appreciate it. And thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate your thoughts.
I have one more question.
Go ahead, man. Hit me.
Is Mr. Holly an FSU fan?
Mr. Holly is an FSU fan. Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
My question is, how many? What's the record going to be to get him fired this year?
What's the record going to be to get your coach fired? I think is what he's saying.
Anything short of 7-5, and I do not believe Norvella has a job. Well, 7-5. He's got to be able to pull off a game or two that were either razor close on the over or on who's favored, or he's got to make sure he wins every game that we're scheduled to win. You can't have the slip-ups against a Jackson State. You can't have, another meltdown against teams that you're clearly more talented than, or just lose for not being prepared. And there were a couple of times in last year that we lost because we weren't prepared. Jackson State, obviously, or Jacksonville State, obviously one of them. Great game against Notre Dame, great game against Miami. But there were still these letdowns throughout the course of the middle of the season. It just felt like they were playing flat. He's got to keep them sharp. He's going to have to keep them healthy. But if he can go 7-4 and get back into a bowl, which is unbelievable that FSU hasn't been there in a while, I think he's safe. Anything short of that, and we'll be writing a check.
You take that, Fishing? Is that a good answer?
He's fired.
What was?
That's a good answer. He's going to $50
Say that again.
I don't know what his buyout or his contract or anything is. So I don't know.
Oh, his contract. Buyout on his contract.
He's got 2 years left.
I don't know what his contract is yet.
Yeah, he's got 2 years left. He signed a 4-year deal coming in. The first year, the COVID year, I don't know if that even counted because I don't think he coached more than half the games. So that part is the only weird asterisk. He does have 2 years left, but that's not going to stop. That wouldn't be enough to keep them from letting him go if need be. That's kind of small potatoes in the course of the college football income these days.
Yeah, I'll have to agree.
All right, Bubba. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you calling in, Fishing. We're going to probably try to do this every now and then, so make sure stop by every week like you've been having. We appreciate your comments, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you being here, Fishing.
Yeah, man, appreciate that.
Have a good night, Bubba. All right, we had 2 people call in while we're on the phone with Fishing, so if you can call back, we will gladly answer. Sorry, we're not quite up to date on putting you guys on hold yet, but we had a 407 number call, and then I can't remember the other one. It was a name, but I don't remember what the name was. So if you're still here, you want to give us a call, we are waiting patiently by the phones. Okay, we're like Delilah. Call in. We're gonna play a song for you.
Unknown caller.
There he is, Dintry. That was who called. Sorry for that. Oh no, they lost me.
Oh, well.
Hold
To
on.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, is this Danny?
Yes, it is.
Danny, what's going on, man?
There he is.
Going on. Yes, sir. Daniel back at it again.
Is this Daniel back at it again? What's up, baby?
Yes, sir.
Oh man,
Yeah, man.
back at
One
it
thing I'm
again.
going to tell everybody, back at it again. Daniel back at it again.
I love it.
Don't know these guys. Shelton, Hawley, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, y'all. High Top Sports. It is what it is. Go Gators. FSU's trash. Go Dogs.
Danny, hey, thanks for calling in, Danny. Just to show some love and show some hype, man. We appreciate it. Go Dogs. Go Gators.
About Danny, baby. He's
Screw FSU.
back at it again.
Let's talk about the Gators, though. Let's all real talk. You know, let's put aside being a fan to specific teams. I think we really need to talk about being a college fan. You know, honestly, the hype is there for the Gators. I mean, it's a top school, always been a contender in the playoffs, always winning national championships, have some great coaches, great players. But, you know, like I said, the hype is there. I'm not saying I'm for Napier. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just not convinced. You know, I want to see what he does on the field. Let's see if he can keep – if he can't win the big game, let's see if he can keep it close. I mean, you're talking about a coach who hasn't coached in a Power 5. I want to see him, you know, it's a hard conference. You're in the SEC. You know, you're going against some pretty big names out there. And Florida does not have an easy schedule. They always play some pretty tough teams. You know, A&M, Georgia, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, I want to see the Gators do do I think AR is the guy? I do not. If you look at the numbers, I know he didn't play as much last year, but when he did play, his completions, they were not great. His numbers were not great. I honestly kind of make fun of him a little bit. I do think he has a lot of talent, but I don't think he has an SEC talent. I think he's kind of like a Clemson quarterback, like DJ Uiagalelei or whatever. I think that's his little brother.
It's an interesting comparison.
But I want to see what he does. I want to see what Napier does. I want to see what Napier does there. I'm very convinced if they can win Utah, I think it will give Gators a lot of momentum heading into Kentucky. And if they could pull a win against Kentucky, man, you know, look out for them. You know, do I think that the Gators are going to have a winning season? Probably not. Because looking pretty smart didn't have him. He had, I think it was like a 7-5 first year as a head coach. But after that, his recruitings were always there. His wins were over there. He was always making a bowl game. And third year there, he took the Georgia Bulldogs to the national championship. So I want to see what Napier does. And I'm all for him because I really like how humble he is. I saw him earlier today with Paul Feinbaum. Even though Paul Feinbaum is a big Alabama fan, I want to see what he does. I'm really kind of hyped for the Gators and a new coach.
What a take, Daniel. I loved your comparison to DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson. That's an interesting take. Honestly, like we always want to praise, right? But it's good to get kind of like outside perspective. Steve obviously is an outside perspective, but I think he's obviously come to the dark side a little bit because we talk about it week in and week out. So it's hard for him not to see things from our side now, but you're obviously coming from a dog side. So look, I love that take. I think we can sit here and say, look, Could that happen? And yeah, that's honestly, I respect that. I respect that opinion. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And I like your take on the year. I really think that, look, a 7-5 season is possible. And I totally agree. The first 2 games are going to be the biggest games, that they could really set the tone, because that's what's fun about college football, right? It's a momentum game. You get the ball rolling in the right direction. Anybody feels they can win. They know they're talented enough, right? And that's kind of where it stems from. So, dude, great take. We appreciate it, Danny.
Yeah,
man. Appreciate you guys, man.
The Clemson quarterback room. They went through Taj Boyd. They've gone through quarterback after quarterback, and it almost felt like no matter what they did, they were going to be able to plug and play, and the next quarterback was just going to come in and not miss a beat until this most recent kid, DJ. We can all take a shot at it here. We're not going to get it right, but that being said, that's a good comparison. Like we've seen some rough patches for Florida. This is probably the most talented quarterback they've had coming into the season since Tebow. It's just going to be a determination on whether or not Billy's got him prepared. So there's a big question mark in a conference, in a division that has a lot of talent and a lot of really, really good coaches. So getting him ready to play is going to be the make or break, I think, for Florida season. Good call.
For sure.
Yeah, if you look at it, brand new head coach. The coaching staff is pretty much brand new. And you have a lot of talented or potential talent there. But like Billy said himself, the depth and there is a lack of talent. But hey, it's Florida. The name sells itself, just like Alabama, just like Georgia or Clemson or Ohio State. It sells itself. And I think Napier, honestly, if I was going to be really honest with you guys, I think Napier has a high potential, especially in my eyes, to be that guy for Florida. And I hope he is, because he kind of has that very humbleness that a lot of head coaches have, like Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley, he's a little more flamboyant than Napier, but I see, Napier and Lincoln Riley have that same kind of flow, if I could say.
The humble pie we talked. Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Like I said, hey, man. Yeah, so man, I really enjoy the show, guys. I really didn't have too much time the past few months, but I'm always excited for Wednesday. And like I said, everyone, hey, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Show these guys at High Top Sports, Ollie Shelton. And you know what? It's Daniel back at it again. Go Dogs.
Daniel back at it again. Hey, man, we appreciate you. We're glad that we were able to find a dog fan to come and support us. That means a lot. So we appreciate your kind words, man. And thanks for calling in and chatting with us. We really appreciate it, man. And hope everything kind of turns out. I emailed you privately, but we hope to see you soon. And look, we're gonna try to work on an event. So if you're close by, Danny, come see us. All right, man.
Yeah, man. You guys have a good night, man.
You too, Bubba. Thank you.
You too.
Always
back at it again.
Dude,
Danny
has some hot takes.
No night is ever safe if Daniel's out there, because he will bring it right to your front door.
That was awesome, man. Danny had some really good takes, some really colorful takes on that, on the humble pie and kind of Lane Kiffin and the DJ to AR. I love that a lot. That was really cool.
He's consistent with FSU sucks. He never wavers. So.
Honestly, dude, that's what we look for. It's good to be consistent, right? It's just to make sure they're on the same page. Fish and football, sorry about the delay. No worries, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure what it was. He sounded crisp. I don't know if it was connection. No big deal. We'll get it again next time.
It's
call
our
us
first
in.
night at this too. We have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, no clue.
Clearly, you didn't even charge the camera.
Yeah, for real. Somebody called twice while we were on the phone with Danny from Trent, is what it said. So if you're still here, Bubba, call us back. We'll probably just do one more call and cut it short. Obviously, we're running out of juice around here. But this seemed to do pretty well. If you guys liked it, drop a like. I'll do a little poll. We'll see after the fact how people like it or dislike it. We'll post this kind of separately so people can kind of get an idea and see how it goes. But let's try to take one more call before the night ends. We'll have a little nightcap, and then we'll shut it down. So I'll wait a few minutes here. And
that's a good way to put it. A little nightcap action.
A little nightcap action. But that was good. That was an awesome take. This is fun, man. I'm glad you guys are calling in and kind of giving us your take. Again, Steve and I, we kind of ramble on for an hour and a half, typically every Wednesday. And it's good to get a different perspective, right? Comparing him to DJ from Clemson was something that I wouldn't even think about. But again, he had a ton of hype bro, a ton of hype, and fell flat on his face.
Like,
So
yeah, like 7 stars. Like you can't fit any more stars next to this kid's name. And
yeah, I don't
jury's
think he's
out, but not the best
not the truth.
sample set of games there to get his career kicked off.
Yeah, give us a call, guys. Call us one last call to break down the evening. 904-853-0692. We want to hear you. Want to hear your thoughts on everything before we close her out.
High Top Sports Network. Got a little call-in line here.
You like that,
Gosh,
right?
We're going to have to get a text line set up here soon.
I mean, I can. I have a text through the same app, so I can shoot some text. So we'll get going. Hey, Fishing, why did it say you were calling from Russia? You from Russia, man? What's going on there, buddy? Is that just your phone line? I mean, I don't care. I'm not judging. I just want to know what's going on.
That might be the delay. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. Like,
you're a little far. You're a little far.
The cell phone reception in the eastern Ukraine isn't as good as it was 3 weeks ago.
All right. Well, it looks like the phones have stopped ringing. Fortunately, we can't put things on hold because we were blowing up. Well, we had like 3 people call in while we were on the phone with a few of them. So, fortunately,
well, look, if anybody's looking for some pro bono freelance admin work that wants to maybe hammer that phone line for us on a Wednesday night, we're your fellas.
Yeah, I wonder. I can call it. I wonder if I can call him. Let me call him back.
It's 10 o'clock at night, Shelton. You're just stalking these people.
Oh, Sportsy, what up? Pop in here before you close. What up, High Top Sports? Also, shout out Fish and Football. I love your content too. What is going on, boys and girls? Sportsy, give us a call, man. See what's going on. Muddy said my wife enjoyed it.
Muddy's new internet famous right here. Look at him go.
My wife enjoyed it and got a nice laugh listening to me the whole time while talking. There he is.
Unknown caller. Call from
Tristan's calling in.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
We will accept. Tristan, are you there, my friend?
Yes, sir.
What up, baby? Welcome to the show. What's going on, man?
With that nightcap call.
Not much.
It's officially the title. You're the nightcap call of the evening, my man. Thanks for being here.
I always watch our show. I just never catch it live. I work nights, so.
Well, hey, we're
I'm
glad
to be able to actually catch it tonight.
Hell yeah, man! What's your username? Have you made comments before? Have we commented back to you at all, so I know who kind of what I'm dealing with, or not? Not really.
No, I don't really comment because I never catch it live.
Oh, no worries. I'm just trying to put a name to a face if we have one, but if not, no big deal. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you watching and stopping by, man, and able to catch a live show. Sorry you work on Wednesday nights. We're working on doing a second live stream. Would you be down for that? Would that be something you would like?
Sometimes I have Wednesday off, and sometimes I don't, and whenever it changes week to week.
I hear you. You. Well, tell us, Tristan, what are you excited about this year for Gator football, my man?
All of it, but I'm really excited for see that defense with Patrick Toney and all those guys that Billy's brought in. Just the NFL coaches and that top talent from LSU and all of it, man.
Yeah, Jalen Kimber got what's his name? Kamari Wilson. I'm super excited for that defense as well. That's true.
Yeah, it's funny. We spend a lot of time talking about the offense and the quarterback and the talent and the transition with Billy's offense with the new team. We haven't really spent a lot of time talking about the defense and what we think that's going to look like or how they match up. I know we've got some future content where we're going to go through some of the room like we did today, where we'll look at each position. But yeah, we haven't spent a lot of time talking about how just as important that offensive transition is with the defense as well, because a great defense out there is going to give your offense a lot more opportunity, put you in a better position. Taking over the football, put your offense in a stronger position. So yeah, that's as big of a point of emphasis going into this year as the quarterback and the running backs and so forth.
Oh yeah, and I mean AR. I mean he speaks for himself. He's got a cannon. but I don't know. It's just something about the defense. I guess I'm looking forward to headhunters,
Sure.
And
I look forward to a little major right action. You know what I mean? That's what those the good old days.
Reggie Nelson coming through headhunting.
Yeah. Those are the good days. Tristan, what game you got circled on the calendar, man? What game are you most excited to watch this season? That you're just like, I can't wait.
Well, the first one against Utah, I mean, ready to see what this defense and offense is going to really look like. And then always Georgia.
Sure.
I feel like AR is going to come out with a vengeance because they kind of put him to shame last year. And he's going to be prepared, and I'm kind of scared for Georgia.
There it is.
Not scared, but
yeah, you're concerned for their health.
Definitely got something to prove.
Yeah, look, he's being projected to be a top draft pick right now. He's ranked the 5th quarterback on Mel Kiper's quarterback draft board. So a lot of hype behind him. Guys cashing in on the hype as well too. He's been rolling in some NIL cheddar. So
and then I mean we're finally getting that offensive line straightened out. I mean, I know we don't got depth, but I mean if we could have those guys healthy that are there, man, I feel like it's going to be a really decent offensive line.
Yeah, and that we talked about that. I don't know if you caught that. We were doing the grading, and we gave them a C right now simply because of the depth. We think that the front line's strong, but the depth is a little we don't know what we're working with right now, so that could kind of be where we're at with that.
Yeah, it's like Billy says, we got the top 8, but what do we got after that?
For sure. Hey man, so where you from, if you don't mind telling us, so we know kind of where the crew's at.
Lakeland, Florida.
Okay, so not too far.
I know. No. Born and raised here in Florida. Diehard Gator fan.
Hell yeah, man. Go Gators. We love it. Well, hey, Tristan, I appreciate you calling in, man. I'm glad you were able to stop in on tonight. That you were able to get off and give us a call, man. We really appreciate it. Do you have any questions for us?
So what are y'all's defensive players watch out list? Kind of, who are y'all watching out for this year on defense?
So I'm excited to see Ventrell Miller. As always, I'm excited to see Kamari Wilson. I think he's not gonna have too much playing time, but they talked about him possibly being a starter as a freshman. So I'm excited to see if he'll kind of take off a little bit. Gervin Dexter, I'm excited to see him as well. Those guys kind of are kind of the heart to me right now of the defense. So I'm excited to see how those guys do.
Yeah. Brendan Cox, I mean, I think he said that he wanted to come out and get the school's tackle record or sack record. So
I love that. I love when players come out and put something like that out there. I think that's huge. It speaks volumes, right? It's not like an outlandish goal. It's like, look, I want to go get this. This is something that I'm striving for. And it's bigger than myself. I want to go make an impact. I want to have a lasting name here. And I love that energy. I think a lot of guys on this team have that energy, which we haven't seen in a while. So that's awesome. Love the pick, man.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, we appreciate it, man. Keep watching, keep subscribing. Make sure you hop on when you can. Next time you're on, drop a comment if you're on with us live so we know that you're here. All right, man? We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And my username's Tristan Creel.
Okay, so we'll know it's
hard to find you.
We'll know it's you then.
We'll
awesome,
know it's you.
Well, Tristan, man, thanks again for calling. We appreciate it, Bubba. You have a good night, all right, man?
Yes, sir. Y'all too.
Thank you, man. Muddy said, I forgot to ask Holly, what's the creepy Annabelle doll behind him? Look, I've had a few people asking me that, Steve. Can you get some insight on what the hell's going on?
Yeah, she's a cocktail waitress. It's a cocktail table.
What are we doing here? What's going on?
I got a butler, I got a maid, and I got a dog, and they're all just like these little things that hold a tray.
Just ready to serve Steve at any given moment. You know what they're serving you, Steve? Florida State a loss. That's what they're serving you. Boom! Suck on that. Sportsy, can we do a second live stream on Sunday? You know what we're going to do? I'm going to do a poll, right? Because a lot of guys work and they're doing things. So I'm going to put a poll out. What's the best day to stream? And I have 6 days to choose from. Tuesdays are the only night that we can't, so it's going to be every night but Tuesday. We wouldn't want to do Tuesday anyways. Honestly, once game day starts, we're probably going to do streams on Saturday. But for now, until then, we'll find another day to stream. We'll kind of do we'll feel out what's going on. We had a lot of people vote that they wanted to see us stream a second day. So that was kind of cool to see. They weren't tired of us after just one day. I don't know how much we're going to have in 2 days, but we can maybe just come on and see what's going on, chit-chat a little bit. We talked about doing a little gambling, little blackjack, little live stream of blackjack. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll play
just one night dedicated to the call-in. Let these folks have the show for themselves. We can play around with it. Again, like we said at the beginning,
we could do the call-in with blackjack. So we're talking football while we're losing money.
I mean, playing some blackjack.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Well, maybe it might be a loss win.
Hit her.
And I love it. And we'll get the people in here. We'll talk. I think it's a great idea. We're going to get the ball rolling here shortly. We love you guys stopping by, calling in. That was awesome. That was a good time. Let me take this off so somebody calls.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it. Steve, pleasure as always, my friend. I haven't seen you in a little bit. You look a little.
You got to make sure we plug that camera in. Precast.
Yeah, we're running a little longer than usual, but you look cooled down, which is good. What's the temperature up before we go?
73 degrees. We're a 15-point swing with a fan. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna.
We're back,
like a baby tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again as always for stopping by. Drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Drop a like, not a dislike for whoever hated on us earlier. Subscribe. Turn on the bell. We go live every Wednesday at 8:35. You see we have a good time. So tune in. Be back next week. Till then, I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Holly.
Peace.
I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show.